All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another NBA video. We have the conference finals solidified for the East and the West. We're going to talk about Knicks versus Celtics a little bit. We're going to talk about Thunder versus Nuggets. Um, Probably not too much about both these games, just a little bit about what it means for both teams. Losers and winners, of course. If you like what I say, like the video. If you have an opinion, comment it down below, and so that the vibes consider subscribing. Let's talk about. Let's start with this New York Knicks versus Boston Celtics game six. Um, the New York Knicks got the win, 119 to the Boston Celtics 81. The New York Knicks advanced to the conference finals for the first time in 24 years. It was a historic night for the Knicks. I'm going to spend a lot of time on the Knicks. Talk a little bit about the Celtics. The Celtics have been doomed since Jason Tatum went down. I already did a little preview of what their offseason could be. We'll talk about the game a little bit, but I really want to talk about the New York Knicks. Sounds so crazy to say. In all my life, and especially in my adult life, the New York Knicks have sucked. They've been bad. Um, from the Carmelo Anthony era to that really bad transition era where it was a sundry of people who aren't in the league anymore and a sundry of people who were past their primes. Um, to get to this point um, was crazy. To get to this game was crazy. Um, you wouldn't believe the amount of you would believe actually. Let me correct myself. You would believe the amount of people and the amount of celebrities that were at this game. They showed Bad Bunny. They showed Timothée Chalamet, uh, Lenny Kravitz. What's his name? Spike Lee was obviously there. There were so many people at this game. New York Knicks legends were at this game. Bernard King. I think Patrick Ewing was at this game. Who was at the last one? Maybe. There were so many people at this game. Um, and this game meant a lot to the city of New York. Um, it was crazy to see um, how good this team played, um, how good or how much the team wanted this. That they weren't satisfied with just being up 3-2 because that can happen. You can get in that mindset where you're like, oh, we're already up, we're gonna win anyway. But you're playing against the defending champs in the Boston Celtics without one of their key players, but nevertheless, um, playing against these guys at home at your house in Madison Square Garden, it meant a lot to this team. And you could see that with every play, every possession. And they really blew the doors off this Boston Celtics team. This Boston Celtics team looked like, oh, we won the one game at home without Jason Tatum. That's a moral victory, and we'll go into the offseason. We'll go to Cancun, and this is a better team right now than us. um, for the Boston Celtics, talk a little about the game. Um, Only two people in double digits. Jaylen Brown with 20. He had seven turnovers, one steal, one block, six assists, six rebounds, 8 of 20, 3 of 9. Um, Looked awful. Looked awful, and we'll talk about him more in a little bit. Um, just an awful performance from Jaylen Brown. This is what everybody was talking about when saying he can't be the face of your team. He's not that good of a player. He's a good complementary player to probably what was your best player in Jason Tatum. Um, Jaylen Brown isn't that guy. He's not him. And the other guy in double digits is a 37-year-old Al Horford with 10 points, 2 rebounds, no assists. I believe he's 37. Let me check right here real quick. Correction, 38-year-old Al Horford. Nobody else came to play. Joe Mazzulla, Celtics coach, emptied the bench early. Nobody else really gave any um, care in the world about this game. They knew it was over. The walls were closing in. The ceiling was shrinking on top of them, and all that stuff. Payne Pritchard did have 11 points, sixth man of the year. That's about it for the Celtics team. They looked really bad. I do want to add one thing um, about this Celtics team. Apparently, this is unconfirmed. Well, confirmed but unconfirmed here. Let me see if I can find it very, very quickly here. Very, very quickly. Apparently, this was reported by ESPN's Ramona Shelburne. I believe ESPN's, right? It was reported by Ramona Shelburne. Let me just say that. Reported by Ramona Shelburne. Pretty reliable source when it comes to reporting on things. Um, Sources say Celtics Jaylen Brown has a partial meniscus tear, so he's playing through a partial meniscus tear. This is the article. Boston Celtics star Jason Tatum finished the season with a partially torn right meniscus. Sources told ESPN Brown has been playing in pain during the last month of the regular season and in the playoffs, which concluded with Friday's Game 6 loss to the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference semifinals. I will say this, and I'll always keep my opinion about this consistent. I freaking hate when players do this. I absolutely hate when you lose, um, and it comes out after the season is done, and you're like, "Oh well, I was playing bad because I tore my blank, or my hand was broken, or my pinky toe hurt." It is such a it is such a sign of that you're a freaking loser, that you can't just say, "Hey, I played bad." But coincidentally, I also had a meniscus tear. But let me say this: but if you played good, and then it came out when you won the championship again, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I played so good on a meniscus tear." It's a double-edged sword, and I think it's just so silly. Just don't put that information out there. Just keep it under wraps. Keep it under wraps, like Area 51. Just don't say anything. Say it next season. Say it when it's been repaired and you're done. It's like, oh, well, last season I was playing with a torn meniscus, but that's no excuse for why we lost. It's just so um it's just so it just drives me up a wall because it's like, well, I played bad because I had a torn meniscus. Great, thanks for that information. You look like an even bigger fool. Thank you. Okay, rant done, rant over. Let's talk about the New York Knicks. Go New York, go New York. I've heard that song for so freaking long, living on the East Coast. It's such a corny song, and then to hear everybody say it and for it to play at the end of the game when they won the game was so funny because it was a culmination of many decades of being bad and it being like a stupid song, for it being like a rallying cry for these deprived New York Knicks fans. Um, for the Knicks, they had 4 people with 20 plus points. They had 2 people with 10 plus rebounds. And they had uh 3 people with or 4 people with 4 plus 1 plus assists. In the starting lineup, your regular starting 5, Jalen Brunson with 23, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 of 8 from three, 8 of 14 overall from field goal. OG Anunoby, 23 points, big game. I said at the start of the series, and I'm going to hang my hat on it. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges needed to be offensive threats. They already are defensive threats. But man, did they come in clutch this game. 23 points for OG, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 2 assists, 9 rebounds. 4 of 13 overall from three, not good. 7 of 18 overall from field goal, better. And Mikal Bridges, 22 points, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 of 6 from three, better. And 9 of 15 overall from field goal. Conley Towns, um, this is going to be the series for me that I actually started liking Karl-Anthony Towns because I like the energy he played with. I like what he tried to bring defensively, even though he fouls a lot. um, four fouls, 21 points, 12 rebounds. Did not shoot the 3 ball well. 1 of 6 from three, 8 of 20, but gave it his all. Gave a huge effort. Um, it was so funny during the course of the game. It was like the last following minutes, maybe the last like 6 or 7 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes, where Tom Thibodeau, notoriously who runs his guys on high minutes, um, was like still had a couple guys out there. I think it was Carl and OG or something. Um, and even on Twitter, I was refreshing Twitter, and people were like, "This doesn't look good. You gotta get him out the game. Get him out the game." You know, because people know like Tibbs does this. Coach Tom Thibodeau does this, and they were saying on the broadcast they could see Jalen Brunson. Oh, well, it was Rick Brunson first. Rick Brunson went up to Tom Thibodeau was like, "Hey, get the guys out of the game." And then like 2 more minutes went by, and then Jalen Brunson, Rick Brunson's son, Rick Brunson is an assistant coach on this coaching staff. Jalen Brunson went up to Tibbs and was like, "Hey, get him out the game." And Tibbs finally got him out the game. He brought in PJ Tucker, Landry Shamet, Tyler Kolek, um, and that was it. But people were getting scared that Tibbs was running these guys on high minutes, even though they were blowing the Celtics out. Um, what does my closing thoughts on this series? This would have been a great series, an even better series. It was already a good series. If Boston had Jason Tatum, um, this I don't want to be like crazy about this, but this might be a turning point for the Knicks in the latter half of this decade, where they've made the conference finals. Right, obviously, every player is going to say that's not enough. You want to go to the NBA finals. If you lose in the NBA finals, fine, you made it there. Right, it's not what you want. You want to win a championship, but you get there. That's climbing the mountain and getting to the top of the mountain at least. You know, but I think this is going to be a point for the New York Knicks. I don't. Whatever happens, listen to me. Listen closely. Whatever happens in this next series, and we're going to preview the next series in a minute. Um, do not change this roster. This is the perfect culmination. The city loves it. They work well together. This team was put together maybe a couple weeks before the regular season started. It got put together right before training camp. These guys have done so much with so little time. Give them a full season together. Give them a full training camp together. Is going to be even better. If they go on to win the championship, man oh man, when was the last time the New York Knicks won a championship? That's a real question right there. Um, Not in my lifetime, I'll tell you that. Not in my lifetime, I'll tell you that. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh yeah, I found it here. Wait. The last time the New York Knicks won a championship was in 1972, way before my time. Um, yeah, way before my time. They were coached by who is this? Red Holzman. I've never heard that name in my life. So if the Knicks do it, this will be the first time in many decades that they've won a championship. But we'll talk about that later. Congrats to New York Knicks. And if you want to hear my thoughts about the Boston Celtics, it's one of my uh, most recent videos. I talked about it when Jason Tatum went down. Hear my thoughts about what they should do in the offseason, what this means for them. The reigning championship champions have been dethroned. And to move on to the next series, the Denver Nuggets have also been eliminated. They lost the Oklahoma City Thunder 125 to the Denver Nuggets, 93 points. There's not much to say about this game. The series was great, but to finish my thought, with the Denver Nuggets being eliminated and the Boston Celtics being eliminated in their respective conferences, a new champion will be crowned for the seventh time uh, in the past 7 years. No team has repeated since the Golden State Warriors. Crazy. That's a crazy stat. No team has managed to. It's so hard to repeat. People don't. People are like, oh, well, yeah, it's hard to repeat. Nah, it's really hard. um, Talk about this Denver Nuggets, um, Oklahoma City Thunder game. This game was a wash. This game was a wash. It came out late night, Saturday night, that Aaron Gordon had a grade 2 hamstring injury. It was questionable whether he'd play. Um, and you know what he did? He suited up. But before he suited up, he probably got shot up with every known medical, injection available, and he trotted on out there trying his best. And man, oh man, did he try his best! But he didn't look in pain. He just didn't look right. He just didn't look right, and I'll give him credit. Um, this year was such a um, pinnacle year for Aaron Gordon. I've sung his praise so much in this series. And in the last series as well against the Clippers, he was big time for them. Um, he and to end with this hamstring injury, and for him to have started the season, he lost his brother, um, and he even switched his number for his brother. He went from 50 to 32. Um, a great season for Aaron Gordon. I have to tip my hat to him. And for it to kind of end like this was kind of sad, but um, what a great season for Aaron Gordon. For the team, a very questionable season, a very weird season for the team. Um, let's focus on the game though before we get out of here. Uh, I had envisioned with a fully healthy Nuggets team that experience would win out, that the Denver Nuggets would win this game seven and they would be in the conference finals. Um, that did not happen. That did not happen at all. Um, I had forgotten that they had fired their coach and they had a rookie coach. And the game was going along in like the first half. Actually, in the first half or the first quarter, and actually, I had to put some of my own money down. I had said the Denver Nuggets are going to win. I put a amount of money on them. I was like, no way they lose this game. That's how confident I was. I also put money on the Oklahoma City Thunder. I did Alex Caruso steals and I did Shea Gilgeous-Alexander points, both hit by the way. Um, and what had happened was the Denver Nuggets have a rookie coach, only coached maybe less than 20 games, right? What had happened in the first quarter was at the end of the first quarter, he he took both guys out. He took Jamal Murray, the star point guard, and Nikola Jokic, All Star, MVP, um, off the court at the same time. And that was the turning point for this game with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic off the floor entirely. Just a completely bare bones lineup out there. The Oklahoma City Thunder ran away from the Denver Nuggets, and they never looked back. It was the craziest turn of events I had ever seen. Because it was just like, oh yeah, they're out. Okay, let's go. They went from second gear to fifth gear to sixth gear, and they just kept pushing. Uh, I don't know what David Adelman was thinking, the Denver Nuggets coach, taking both of them off the floor at the same time. It was it was a miraculous stroke of idiocracy. It was so dumb. I don't know what other coach would have done that. I don't know who. And I get it, he's a rookie coach. You should know better though. You should know better though. You should know better. That was so stupid because you just couldn't get back in the game because immediately as he noticed the Oklahoma City Thunder were running away with this game, he put him back in and they just couldn't do it. The Oklahoma City had all the momentum, all the all the energy. They were at home, obviously, because they're the higher seed. It was crazy. And then this game was over by halftime, and the big conversation is: did Nikola Jokic give up on his team? Because he literally just gave up in he gave up in the third quarter. He tried a little bit, but like maybe 5 minutes left in the third quarter, he checked out and he didn't check back in. It was over. The game was over. To be fair, the game was over. You don't want to check a guy back in when the season's over. The game's over. It was fine, right? Did he give up on his team? I don't think so. I think at some point you just realize they're the better team. They're running away with it. We're not going to win this game. Let me get me out of here. Let me sit on the bench. At least let me sulk in peace, soak in my disparity. um, to talk about the Denver Nuggets a little bit more, then we'll get to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Um, it is I can I say something? I do not like this. I do not like David Altman as the coach of this team. I just don't. I just don't like. Even if Michael Malone was making a fuss about whatever you had a problem with, at least he was a good damn coach, man. This David Adelman guy, I don't know about him. I I just don't know. And the way it's looking, this team is very bare bones. And Nikola Jokic's post game interview, he said they need more depth. This team has no depth whatsoever. They found some depth in Julian Strawther, who didn't play good this game. Russell Westbrook has a player option for next year. He might be back. I don't know if he's going to be back. Russell Westbrook looked very washed in this game, even though he had an okay series. He looked very washed in this game. You pay him Zeke Naji a lot of money, who doesn't really show up. He had 0 points in this game seven. Um, you might need to sell off some of these pieces, man, to get some depth. Christian Braun might need to turn from one player into two players into three players. Um, Eric Gordon's obviously a staple on this team. You can't get rid of him. I think Michael Porter Jr. is gone. He's played so bad, but he's got to be off the team, man. Maybe you see how he rehabs that shoulder injury he's been dealing with, but man, do they look bad. Um, this team needs a full retooling. I think that's what this team needs. It needs a full retooling. It needs a full, um, like, to compare it to a car. It needs a new transmission. It needs an oil change. Um, one of the headlights is out. The windshield is cracked. You might as well you could talk yourself into getting a new car, but you should just probably fix the car and see what happens. And if it breaks down again, then hey, then it's time for a new car. Um, Moving on to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Man, oh man, what a ride for the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first two rounds, and they're heading to the conference finals for the first time since the Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook era. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a performance. This was one of the performances for him. He did it so effortlessly. I was watching this game, and then they said he had 21. Then they said he had 30, and then he stayed in the game to get to 35. I'm not going to dock points for that. Um, he did it so effortlessly. 35 points, 3 steals, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 12 of 19, 3 of 4. Only 9 free throws, made 8 of them. Um, really good stuff. But what really was the difference in this game was 3 guys. It was Jalen Williams, who showed up, did not show up in any of the other games in this series. 24 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 of 5 from three, 10 of 17 overall from field goal. It was Jalen Williams, Lou Dort, and Alex Caruso. On defense, it was Lou and Alex Caruso. On offense, Jalen Williams gave such a good punch to this team. Lou and Alex, the floor was so shrinked for the Nuggets because of these two players poking the basketball away, intercepting passes. Um, Alex Caruso, who's like 6 something, guarding Nikola Jokic, is almost 7 foot. On almost every possession in the half court. Amazing, amazing stuff. And this team just looked incredible. It looked absolutely incredible. Um, I'm not ready to say they're the champs. I have them going to the finals. On paper, I have my own thoughts about who I think should go personally as my favorite, but on paper, this looks like the team to go to the finals, represent the Western Conference. I have nothing bad to say about the way they played last night. I have nothing bad. Other guys who helped out: Chet Holmgren, 13 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 11 rebounds. Isaiah Hartenstein, 10 points, 7 rebounds. Had the toughest assignment this series, guarding Nikola Jokic. Really good stuff. Lou Dort, 6 points. Alex Caruso, 11 points, 3 steals, 3 assists, 2 steals for Lou Dort. I have nothing to say about this team. They might be the best this year. Let's move on to predictions. This is what I've been waiting for. So your 2025 or 2024 2025 conference finals are here. It's the 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder versus the 6 seed Timberwolves and the number 4 Indiana Pacers. I couldn't get that name out. Jeez. Versus the 3 seed New York Knicks. Um, I think both these series at least go 5 or 6. I don't know about 7. Somebody's going to get the upper hand and they're going to run with it. All these teams have shown they can do that. My pick to come out of the West, though, is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're just so well constructed. They're equally as deep as the Thunder. I think they have more talented depth as well. The Thunder have more specialized depth in defense and 3-point shooting, but the Timberwolves have more talented depth in the sense of all-around players. That'd be my pick. And this is going to sound crazy. It's a toss-up for me. Pacers and Knicks is going to be a great series. Oh my god, this is gonna sound so bad if I'm wrong. The Pacers are going to the NBA Finals. Oh my god, I think the Pacers got it. They have so much momentum. They've taken care of business in both series. Um, the Bucks in 5 games, the Cavs in 5 games. Um, the Knicks have had a little bit more to deal with on their side of the bracket, but my pick for the finals is Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Pacers, the NBA Finals. I do think though Knicks Timberwolves would be a little bit more interesting, just for the fact of what happened in the offseason this past offseason. Karl-Anthony Towns getting traded to the Knicks for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. I think that would be a little bit more interesting. But my pick again is Pacers versus Timberwolves. I'll elaborate further once we get past game one, but that'll be my pick right now. And that's the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you all for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. Um, Man, it's been a great finals, and we're finally in the conference finals. What a great time to be an NBA fan. New championship. New champion will be crowned um, later in this postseason. Cheers.